Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel Devotion of Knowledge. So today we are back again with another video, but in this video we are not gonna do any problem solving, no, nothing related to encryption or web security. No, today in this video we are gonna see something related to web development. Now, those of you have tried web development or are learning web development, they might have come across this term named authentication. Now, whenever you are using any website, the user has to log in or register for the particular website so that the company can make sure that this user is authenticated. And authenticating the user, the process is called as authentication. Now, authentication can be implemented using numerous ways. One is JSON Web Token, another one is using some modules of Node.js. But in this video, we are going to see how we can use Firebase, Google Firebase to implement this functionality of authentication. Firebase, we are going to learn. Now, you might be knowing that we have zero knowledge about Firebase and how to start. No worries. In this video, we are going to start from scratch. We are going to initialize a project on Firebase and complete detail I will be explaining to you guys. So this video will be a one-step solution for you guys to implement authentication using Firebase. Okay. Now, many of you have question why Firebase? So believe me, we will be writing at max of 20 lines of code for authentication, especially max to max 20 line of codes. Next thing is easy integration, I would say, because the integration of the code and all the web pages will be very easy. Another thing is there will be no overhead to maintain a database. There will be no overhead to maintain a database because everything will be taken care of by authentication of Firebase. So everything will be taken care of by Firebase, and the best thing is, I would say, it is free of cost. So many factors make use of Firebase for authentication a very best option and very easy option to implement. So let me first tell you here I have some predefined or pre-written code here for login page and register page. I think the server is running. Yes, this is the basic code for login, and if one has to register the user, the register page. I have taken this code pre-written because here we are learning authentication, not to write or not. We are not learning that how to write code for creating a form for register and login. So I have not uh, decided to write the code in the video, but we'll be just writing code for Firebase. So first of all, we will be going to Google Firebase here and go to build. Here we will be going to authentication. Just a second. Google Firebase. It started. Here we will be creating our own project. I have previously created two projects of mine. Here we will be creating a new project. Here we will be giving name auth because we are learning authentication. So AUTH name I have given. Continue, continue, and select an account, Google Analytics account. Default account for Firebase. Okay. It will take a couple of seconds for a project to be created. Okay, recording is going on. Just a couple of seconds more, and it's done. Okay, our project is ready. We'll press on continue. Now, what functionality we want to use, or for what tech stack we want to include Firebase. So here iOS is there, Android, Flutter you are using, web development, Unity, Flutter, many options are there. So here we want to attach this using app. So what name we want to give? Let us give name as first underscore UTH authentication. Okay, register app. It will give us a complete code that we have to attach in our website. Okay, here is the code given. You guys please make sure that you have already implemented or executed this command, because I have already done. There is VS Code, Control J, npm install Firebase. Please execute this command, and I have already done this up to date, so there is no need for me, but you guys have to implement. Just copy this code from here, create one new file named firebase.js, and paste the code that we got from the authentication functionality to here. Now here we have to just import some functionalities. Write import in bracket get get auth from Firebase slash authentication. Okay. So right now it is not making any sense to you, but don't worry. Here it is. Next. Okay. There is no need to implement all these things. Now here there are many functionalities, but we will be using authentication. Just press authentication. There, get started. Now here we will be using email and a password as our main credentials for login. Save. You can also use this Google or any other, because there might be chances that the user is directly trying to log in using their previous email ID. So you can also enable the Google option in that. So here we have done it. And okay, so this is the Firebase thought that we have implemented, and we will be just exporting const auth equal to get auth. Please don't forget to write this functionality, because here we have implemented this get authentication functionality from authentication module of Firebase, and using this get auth functionality, we are exporting a complete instance named auth. And here you can see there is a unique API key and auth first auth that we gave the name. So this is a unique identity for your module. Now we will be coming into a login page, and here first of all we have to import authentication, import auth from Firebase, and yes, that's it. Now as we have created a form here, so here we will be writing form action equal to, let us say, handle submit as the name of the method, and here we will be creating a constant handle submit, and whatever parameter we will be taking, no parameter, but it will be an async event, because okay, I will explain you later. Event we will be taking arrow function, and event dot prevent default we have to write, because by default, okay, there's a mistake, event dot prevent, because by nature, the nature of this arrow function is to refresh the page, but here it's not needed to refresh the page, so that's why. And let's do a semicolon here. Now we will be using try and catch, because there might be chances of getting error, as it is a async function, so we have to write await here, await, sign in with email and password. This is the functionality of Firebase authentication, email, password. Now, don't worry. I know this, all the lines that we are reading are not going into your head, or they are not making any kind of sense to you guys. But believe me, just let me complete the code and we will be understanding that what each line is trying to say or convey. Constant user equal to auth dot current user. Now, here we called an await function using sign in with email and password, because as you know it is automatically imported above. Now this is the function which will be executing a functionality of signing in with the auth instance that we imported from firebase.js, as you can see, and it will be binded with email and password. So basically auth instance will be implemented with the corresponding password and corresponding email that we have entered in the database. It will get verified here, and auth.current user, it will give us the object form, and console.log user. Okay, now, okay, it's done. So okay, it is done. And in catch, if any event is occurring, console.log, we will be pressing e dot message and console.log. Okay, but on UI also some message should be displayed. Toast dot error e dot message, and what will be the position? Position will be top center. Okay, I think it's done, but there is some mistake. E dot message. Okay, it should be inside here, and yes, I think now it's perfect. So this was it. And register. Okay, let us complete the functionality for register.jsx. Similarly here, import auth, put auth from Firebase. I'm feeling lazy to write the complete line, so we will be just okay. Import auth from Firebase, and here also let us form on submit action equal to handle. Let us give the same name so that there is no any overhead into our mind for handle submit, and it will be taking. It will be also an async event. I will be explaining why it is an async event. Async taking event arrow function event dot prevent default. Now try catch and one semicolon here. Okay. So in try block, we will be writing the same thing. await, as it is an async function. So await, create user with email and password. This is the functionality same as we used sign in with user and password. Here we'll be also passing three things: password, same, const user equal to auth dot current user, console dot log. Here I am also writing the same thing. And if the user sign in successfully, toast dot success, because I want to display on you on UI also registered successfully. And what will be the position? It will be top center. Let's see top center. And okay, it's done. And in catch, if any error occurs, then console.log e.message and message. Okay, console.log is finished. And toast dot error that e dot message. And what will be the position? It will be top center. Okay, so I think code is enough. Let us run and see whether is there any error coming or not. Npm run dev. Okay, it is. So let us press the register, and as you can see, the notification is there, registered successfully. Now let us go to our authentication function, and in users, you will be able to see that there is one user named hello@gmail.com, and specific user ID is also allotted. Now there are many actions that you can do as an admin. Reset password. So a dedicated email will be sent on this email ID if this email ID exists. Reset the password. Another thing is that disable account. So here account is disabled, and you can also uh, delete. Now using this email ID, if I will try to log in hello@gmail.com and let me type the password, and if I press login, I'm able to log in. Okay, so that's it. But if I write some another email ID which is not present in the database, then no action. As we can see in inspect, error is there. Okay, oh sorry, there is also same error that we found on submit equal to submit login. I try to log in, enter email, and this is the password. Here you will see the error that user is not present into the database, but I think I have not added any error. Catch toast version login, and then submit, inspect. Go and inspect and see. E is not defined and then submit. Where? Catch. Okay. Here E is not defined. Oh, sorry. Control S. And if I'm trying to log in using the user which is not present in the database, you can see Firebase error not valid. But let us try to log in using the previous email ID that we just entered. Password was 120. Login, but here also we won't be able because user is disabled from the admin. But if I remove this enable account, the user is enabled. And if I refresh this page and now I try to log in, as you can see, uh, it is successful and we were printing the complete instance of user which was created here. So here you can see so much detailed information is there. Matlab, client version, everything, display name, created at metadata, creation time, Sunday, March, last login time, and so much details are there. User info created at email ID, but password won't be there because it's a sensitive thing. Okay, so that's why. API key, you can also see that using this API key, but is this same as our API key? Yes, you can see AIZASY, AIZS. This is the API key that we have used. Authentication domain is Firebase, and this is the main scenario. Now, let me explain that what we have done basically here. So this is the unique Firebase file that every user is allocated. Now, you might say that all the sensitive details you have been shown in the video, but no worries. I will be just deleting this my Firebase project. So try this API anywhere you want to use, but it won't be of no use. Authentication domain, all these things that we entered there. Now, get authentication is the functionality using which you can leverage or use some of the authentication flavors or authentication functionalities. Now, using this, created we auth instance that will be exporting export constant authentication. And in register page, let's come first. So we entered that the submit on submit, please execute this handle submit event and handle submit. Now, see, this is an async event because it's not like that on submit will be executed every time. So it is basically an asynchronous event. So we have entered async. And for async event, we have to use await functions. So similarly, now here event.prevent default. So by nature, if we are calling any function, so the nature of the or execution of any method or object is that it will refresh the whole web page. But here we are not willing to refresh the whole page. So event.prevent default we have written here. Await create user with email password. This is the await function. As you can see, this is the functionality of Firebase auth. What it does basically, using this instance authentication that we just exported from Firebase.js, it uses email and password. As you can see, these are the states maintained. Email and password are basically the details that we have entered in the input fields of the form. Using these two credentials and this authentication event, it will create a complete user that we just see here. This is the user object that this function has created, and this data will be updated in the database, which was here. Right here, we can see is the complete database, which is maintained by Google Firebase itself, and there is no overhead on the users like us to maintain or monitor each and every activity. So basically, this is the thing, and at last we did toasted success. Now using this, the user has been created successfully, but to log in using these credentials, we have used the same functionality name sign in. And here it was create user. Here it is sign in with email and password. Same thing, email and password. It will make sure that this entry is present in the database. And if yes, it will create a corresponding object for the user. And as we try to display it, it will be the same thing which will be displayed in the browser like this. And yes, and similarly, if any error occurs, then we will be catching this and we will be printing all the corresponding details. So this is the main thing using authentication using Firebase.js. And I hope you all enjoyed this because here I have covered each and every detail that I was able to cover. And as I told you in the beginning, at max we'll be writing just 20 lines of code. So this is the code given to us from Firebase. So here only two lines we have written on our own. So first one is get auth, and we are exporting its instance to register.js, just handle submit. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 to 12 lines of here. Similarly, 10 to 12 lines of here and two lines from there. So at the max, we have written 25 to 28 lines of code, and we have implemented the complete functionality of authentication using Firebase. Now, many of you might question that what about security, robustness? Bro, मतलब पूरा Firebase, Google का है. Google is handling this complete functionality. So if Google is coming into the picture, just imagine what will be the security parameters and security concerns they will be handling. So why not to leverage such robust and such very and complete secure functionalities to integrate authentication like security measures in our project. So I think this is it from my side. Please check this or implement this functionality, and we'll be meeting in the next video very soon. Till then, keep learning, keep hardworking. Thank you very much.